then he doesn't expect us to say
Yeah,
anything.
because I'm doing something very important. I just finished a Shakespeare reading from Julius Caesar at Urdu Ghar, and I'm going back
I also
home.
do something
Not
important
farting
when I'm in.
around, buddy. Oh, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay.
Over?
Good, good evening.
Over? Good evening, everyone. Now you know how Suhel Seth behaves when he thinks the
You're
camera
looking
is
like
off.
a clown. What have you put this extra
This is
red
not a
makeup
clown.
and all?
This is my Pahari cat. Okay,
It's quite
and
nice.
yeah, thank you. And viewers wanted me to wear it on the Sunday Club, so that I'm doing it because I posted it on Twitter, and then they said wear it on the Sunday Club. So I said okay.
You would have done better if that cap could have covered your face. It would look more appropriate.
Very
And
funny.
I actually got you one, Sohail.
Oh, I'll take it. Thank you. Bahari kept my ass.
It'll give you some culture. It'll give you some
Okay,
culture.
let's start. What the fuck are we waiting for?
Sohail, watch your language. That's why we never get any sponsors. You know I hate the F word. Please do not use
I
it
said,
on the
what
show.
the fish are we waiting for? What did you hear?
Much better. Okay. Okay. Let's
Start.
Pallavi, 1 week Parliament was on. What did we miss? I know I didn't track Parliament at all this week. What did I miss?
You didn't miss much. There was motion of thanks, which are supposed to begin in Lok Sabha. That didn't begin. Next week, we just got 3 days left to go from tomorrow. So the PM is going to respond. The opposition parties are shouting. They are saying that we want a discussion on NEET. And the government says that you can discuss it in the
Do
motion
any
of thanks.
one minute, yeah. Let's cut out
Rahul
all
Gandhi
this.
in the LOP. That's the
Do,
big news.
do you know that from tomorrow, this new set of criminal laws will come into force,
Yes, that's the big
which are
story.
draconian beyond imagination? And Advaita, since you've been sucking up to the powers that be in a nice way,
What are
you're
you
a
sucking up to the
normally a
past
neutral
me?
person. But has why are we not having a discussion on that and inviting some lawyer? It's a serious issue of citizens' rights. And no one is
Okay.
talking
Any
about it.
lawyer on
Just
the
now I
chat?
was at, listen to me, I was at Urdu Ghar and Subhashini Ali was there. Captain Lakshmi Sehgal's daughter, her mother did yeoman service in the INA. And she was saying, it is unbelievable what has happened. And this was passed in less than 3 minutes in the last session of Parliament, in the last Parliament, last Lok Sabha. It is a complete violation of citizens' rights, apparently, according to her.
So Hasni Ali, by the way, just for my viewers, she is a CPM member. So she's a member of the Communist Party.
Yeah,
Okay,
And
go ahead.
this
Muzaffar
is the
is
point. This is the point.
No, no, that's the
That's
point. You
irrelevant.
introduced
Are the
her.
laws
You
draconian?
introduced her as a mother's daughter. I'm putting context to who she is.
No. So here's my thing. Pallavi is apparently very bright, apparently, and covers Parliament. You claim to be very well read. Do you not have an opinion on these draconian laws? Or will you allow this to pass?
And what is the draconian part? What law in particular? Be specific.
So what
Now you can't have
Subhashini
the blanket
what
term.
Subhashini told me what Subhashini told me
What do
the
you
was the
know?
following.
What do you
One
know?
minute.
Not
And
something that a constitution has transferred.
Who's a barrister, Salman Khurshid, who's a barrister, also concurred with her. These are the three or four things. Number one, A, police remand has been extended from 15 days to 90 days, which means if the cops want to keep you in remand for 90 days, they are not forced to send you to the courts. Number two, the entire laws have been written in Hindi, which means one third of India cannot even read it. Number three, the powers that have been given to the SO or SHO or the police are unimaginable. Number four, if Pallavi or you or I get indicted for a crime under the previous law, the new laws which come into force from tomorrow will also operate, which means you Number five, all these laws were opposed in Parliament, but because 148 members were suspended, these laws were passed. I'm not a legal expert. I'm not saying the law is good or bad. But the fact that you're doing this and changing the provisions of criminal law. So, sections 302, 307, and 420 are out. They've been replaced. These are about civil liberties, Advaita.
Okay,
The
I
definition
think
of acting against sovereignty has been extended. Earlier, sedition was removed, very rightly so, by the Modi government. But now it has been replaced by anything against the sovereignty of the nation. So, if you wear a cap, which I don't like, and is anti-Indian, I could haul you up.
okay, okay,
These are
fine,
serious
Suhail.
issues here. For once,
Pallavi,
let's have a
okay,
serious discussion.
we will get lawyers on board and we will discuss this at length. Thank you for bringing it up. We'll do that. Okay, Pallavi, go ahead. Pallavi, you're on mute. You
Yeah, so
gotta
to
As
a
always,
big game.
muted.
See, but there are some good parts of the law also. So I have no idea. I mean, some of the points which Suhail is making, Advaita, is very correct, and that's a concern which is being made by many of the legal and experts and few lawyers. I know I spoke to them offhand. They're a little worried. They say our job will increase. For example, it's
Now,
supposed to
see,
be zero
she's a senior
FIR.
journalist.
let her finish. No.
Like for example, there's going to be, according to a new law, there's going to be a very quick solution as far as the rapes are concerned. For example, a girl or a woman who's been raped, her statement is going to be video photographed immediately in front of the guardian, in front of the parents, by a woman police officer. So the whole idea is to cut the time. I mean, it will not just go on and on. See, despite the fact that you talk about fast tracking, that doesn't happen. These are a little good sides which they say. But there's also, for example, within 60 days, you have to have that prosecution, the entire process of, going through hearings and all of that in detail. That may not happen. So there are concerns which are being raised by lawyers that, it
Indira
may end up.
Jaising, Indira Jaising has written about this, and her surmise is that the backlog under these laws coming into force, with these laws coming into force, the backlog will increase by over 40% in our courts. We're already struggling with a judiciary which is unable to, complete hearings. I mean, I'm not suggesting good, bad, indifferent, but the point I'm making is that if you cannot have a discussion on criminal laws being introduced in a country like ours, where the other law, which is very interesting, the police station and the cop can refuse to file an FIR. It's unheard of.
There's a
So,
concept of zero
as it is the
FIR.
poor
It
in
doesn't
this
happen.
Yeah,
country,
zero
But
FIRs.
your
Yeah.
summoning can
as it
happen
is, 1 minute,
electronically. That is
1
something
minute,
which can.
as it
Pallavi,
is,
let Suhail
as
speak.
it is the
Then you.
poor in this country, as it is the poor in this country find it difficult to file an FIR, given all the pulls and pressures. Now you're doing away with that too. My question is, where is the Supreme Court in all of this? Where are the high courts? A, B. This is the first time that laws which are being introduced in the Indian judicial system have been drafted by the MHA and not the Law Commission. So this is pretty draconian. Governments don't know
Okay.
law. I can understand if someone, like the Solicitor General had drafted it because he's an eminent lawyer. But these laws have been drafted by the MHA, by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Plus, how do you deal with the
Right.
language issue, Advaita?
Okay. Fine. Okay, I just want to put this out there. Everyone that Suhail has quoted so far is virulently opposed to the government, be it Indira Jaising, be it Subhashni Ali, or be it Salman
This
Khurshid.
is the point I'm
No,
making, Advaita. Cut out this, cut out this,
he said.
cut out this thing
Very
of being nice to the government for no rhyme
I'm
or
not
reason. No one is
nice.
abusing the government.
This is a
Please
fact.
be serious about these issues, which is why people give the
No,
sobriquet Godi media. These are
no,
serious issues.
quoting sources that are virulently against the government. I have to say that. I have to say
Do they
that.
make sense? Do they make sense or not? Do
No,
these
based
do
on
these people make sense? Are you a better lawyer than Indira Jaising? No. Am I a better lawyer? No. These are important people. These are people who understand. Okay, let's imagine they're against the government. Do you find
virulently
any
opposed
logic?
to the government.
Okay, virulently opposed. Do you find logic in some of these laws that are going to come into effect from midnight tonight? You tell me as a reasonable thinking person.
I would prefer to have a lawyer who knows the laws, who's an expert to come
Agreed.
on and talk about it, rather than, kind of quoting and, creating a mahal that this is draconian, this,
There is
that,
no,
and the
hey,
other.
listen.
I'm,
Don't
I'm
play
just saying.
victimhood and conspiracy.
No,
There is no mahal.
it's not
We are
victim.
having a discussion. We are having a
Yeah, I'm
discussion
saying
on the Sunday Club
let
because
us,
our listeners, our viewers are very intelligent people and they must also get 2 points of view. They are not भेड़ चाल है कि एक ही point of view आप उनको थमा दें. मैं
No,
आपसे जो
I
विनती
agree.
कर
I
रहा हूँ,
agree.
आप
I agree.
विनम्रता से बातें
I
सुने
think
और आप तब तथ्य को समझें कि मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ और मैं नहीं कह रहा।
ठीक है, बात करेंगे इस पे बहस चर्चा सब होगी, पर उन लोगों के साथ होगी जो विशेषज्ञ हैं और जो बता सकते हैं कि ये
तो
असली
इंदिरा
मुद्दा
जयसिंह भी
क्या
तो
है।
लॉयर हैं।
उन
इंदिरा
लोगों के
जयसिंह भी तो लॉयर हैं।
उन लोगों की टिप्पणी नहीं ली जाएगी जो राजनीतिक नजरिए से देख रहे हैं इसे। वो ही मेरा लिमिटेड पॉइंट है। Sandeep Ghosh, you're here. Thank you so much. We started discussing the laws, which Suhel has said are very draconian. I think he raised a good point. We
No,
should kind
not
of
Suhel
discuss.
has said. Please read the Indian Express of yesterday. You know, Suhel is not saying anything. Please read. We have to have a discussion on the Sunday Club which
We
takes
will
into
have it.
account all views, whether they are
We will have
anti-government,
it.
pro-government, without government.
Correct.
No, that's fine, Suhail. I totally agree with you that on that we should definitely have a discussion with the range of cross-section of views. But where I do agree with Pallavi, there is a section of our lawyers, no matter how brilliant they use their whatever you say intellectual prowess and the clout or public clout they have to also peddle political agenda.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
so therefore, we need to have discussions and let us try and
I
get
need to hell
people who
with the lawyers. I agree with you. To hell with the lawyers. You tell me, is this draconian or not? If your FIR is not allowed to be filed, A. B. If your remand period is extended from 15 to 90 days. C. If there is only one language in which the laws have been written. D. Where there is a clear emphasis on backlog being increased. I mean, think about this, yeah?
well, you see, the problem is today, I will hold my comments because nowadays, in the era of selective reporting, as we have seen very often, something are cherry picked and highlighted in the media. But when you actually analyze, and that's where the government's problem is, government does not communicate it. Only later they will clarify to say, oh, you have said this, but this is not actually the intent. These are the provisions which are there. And I think we should not add fuel to the fire by just because, simply because we are not experts on that, to pick on those things and debate on it. But I totally agree with you. Let's get a good panel of people and debate it, and where we can be bystanders. We can.
You were not there. You weren't there. I said get a lawyer. First thing I said is get a lawyer. Those idiots amongst your viewers who are saying, oh, I'm ranting and ranting, I have read the article in the Indian Express. The Indian Express is not some rag. I've read the article, post these comments. I'm not taking their comments on face value because you're right. They made a post for opposition's sake. All I'm saying is, as right-minded citizens, we should raise a red flag if and when we
Yeah.
believe civil liberties will be under threat. That's my limited point. I'm not
You're
saying
right.
the
You're
law is
right.
good or bad. I said
Because
it
it's
openly.
impacting all of us.
But my question would be on Indian Express. Granted, it's not a rag. Why did it have to wait till 29th of June if they had to make
Now
it to?
that, I'll tell you what, after the program is over, I'll send you Anand Goenka's number, you WhatsApp him. I'm not holding a brief for the Indian Express. I couldn't be bothered. I'm not saying Indian Express is good or bad. I'm only quoting. Here's the problem. Y'all are becoming like George W. Bush after 9/11. Either you're with me or against us. Arey, no one is against
No, no,
anyone.
no. I'm not
I'm
saying that.
raising these issues to have a more considered debate on the Sunday Club. I'm not bothered whether
Fair
No,
enough.
this
I
happens or that happens.
Suhail, I don't know. But I was just reading up. There are one or two very interesting things which are there in the new criminal laws. For example, a very harsh punishment for mob lynching. Now, for example, why should we think a mob lynching is something which is only happening against, say, the minority community? It can also happen against a majority community, right? Which is the Hindus. Or it could be other things. One more interesting thing I found about this, which I think can also snowball into a misuse, which is promise of marriage. That can also come under sexual harassment. Now, promise of marriage is always could be two versions. The man says, "Oh, I never made this." Woman says, "Mujhe laga you made it." So but that is true. I think about every legal system, about every law. At the end of the day, it's always going to be open to your individual's assessment or the way you're looking at it. So couple of things, if you just read up the new criminal law, it actually wants to make it easy. Why they're talking about online FIR or no FIR is because for the same problem you pointed out, Suhel, there are many people who are hesitant to personally go and file an FIR, or the cops don't want to file an FIR.
So this is a good view.
So
What we are
when you
hearing from
file
Pallavi is a good view.
FIR, it is there for everyone to see. Another important thing which I was reading up was that there's no such thing as which can also be a good thing and a bad thing. There's no such thing now as jurisdiction. For example, if an accident has happened in Lajpat Nagar and I stay in say Noida, they'll say आपका jurisdiction तो Noida में है, आप जाओ. It has happened to me. I've been tossed around from one police station to another because so and so says कि ये मेरे jurisdiction में नहीं है, ये उसके में है. It's so hilarious that sometimes I remember, I think it was near Parliament Street, something happened. They told me, and it was across the road. Because it happened on this side of the road, they said, no, ये हमारा police station में नहीं आता, जबकि Parliament Street police station was there. They told me, एक minute, they told me, Tuklakbad police station, because ये road उससे आता है, ये road इधर आता है. That is something which they plan to do away with. But again, this has a good side to it, it has a bad side to it.
No, Pallavi, only to distract and divert the discussion to
Please don't do that.
No, I will say only they can tell you to do that because they know you're always mobile. Whether to go from left to right or from Lajpat Nagar to Rajendra Nagar is no big deal for you. You're in a car in any case. When they say that to people like us, it's a problem. So on that happy note, let's move on to more serious topics.
Oh, by the way, someone is complimenting big
Advaita,
time.
people are saying your hairstyle is distracting the viewers.
None of us are looking at us. None of us are listening to us, Sandeep. The viewers are listening, focusing only on Advaita.
Hairstyle, and they're saying she's a distraction.
Gaurav said
Have
that
a
I'm
serious
totally
discussion.
distracted by her.
Have a serious discussion, Pallavi. I mean,
Advaita is
really.
looking genuinely disturbed. We are trying to pep her up. She is looking upset.
No, I've had a really long day and not a great weekend. So thank you guys for the compliments. It makes me feel better. Okay.
Now decide what's the next topic.
The next topic is Suhel trusts communists blindly.
I'll tell you one thing. You may make fun of me, which is fine. I have zero agenda and no skin in the game. I'm bringing forth issues which I believe merit a discussion. I've not issued, and I'm no one to issue any finality on the issue. I'm not saying this is right or this is wrong. I'm saying when we discuss these things, these also merit a discussion. Now, some people on the comment section have said, oh, but the laws are passed. The laws will be, they've been passed. Absolutely right. They will come into force tomorrow. I'm just saying, should we not have a considered view in our country, not forget Sunday Club, in our country on some of these issues which might impact civil liberties? That's my limited point, which is what I started with. I don't know what the big fuss is about. And yes, I haven't read the laws.
That's your show, because tomorrow is when it's going to get implemented. And Parliament
we will. And I think the, politics aside, or who you support, who you don't support, bottom line is we're all going to be covered under this. So we should understand it. We should figure it out. We should discuss it. We should debate it. And if we need to kind of protest it, we protest it. Or if we need to support it, we support it. Come what may. But because it impacts all of us. But moving on, Pallavi, one thing we wanted to discuss as well today was NEET and the fact that Yogi Adityanath has come out with a very strong law. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Very, very stringent punishment. So much so, if I'm not mistaken, it can actually go to life imprisonment, huge amount of money. And I know many people will think it's draconian, but Advaita, it's a question of people's lives. I tell you what, very briefly, I went to Rajasthan assembly elections, and where paper leak was a big issue. And Sachin Pilot understood that, which is why he took upon his own government, which is a Gehlot government. I was in Jaipur. I went to Kota. It is amazing the kind of industry it has become. I mean, when you go to Kota, there are these little lanes, rows and rows of hostels. I went to one such hostel. Ek uncle and auntie chalate hain. Chote rooms converted into, there are 10 children sleeping there, and the amount of each one of them having to pay something like 10,000 rupees a month. And there were girls who were coming in from Assam. There are people from down south. Their parents borrowed money, and I was in Jaipur when I spoke to a large number of young boys, and some of them broke down because everyone wants a sarkari naukri. And some of them are saying कि हम ना अब चपरासी का काम कर रहे हैं because paper is getting leaked, our exams are on hold, and my parents have sold their land, my mother sold their jewelry. इस साल नहीं हुआ, अगले साल होगा, ऐसे करते करते. So paper leak, affects not just the student, it's affecting the entire family. There's this boy who told me that my sister, 3 sisters, they can't get married because the money which was kept for them as gold jewelry was sold so that I could go to college, I give that exam, and I'll make money. I'll earn, and then I'll get my 3 sisters married. It is so bad. I mean, or another way, if you watch Kota Factory, I just finished watching it season 3, it actually depicts only 1/4 of how bad the scene is. I'm all for people who are state governments who are coming out with strong laws. It is not funny. I mean, there's school. For example, Bihar make chota sa play school. That is where papers were leaked through telegram.
Yeah, I just want to read this. This is, and like everything in our country, this has also become terribly politicized. This is one interesting factoid that's been doing the rounds, is that there is a stunned silence because the indie bloc was really bringing this up, right? They were raising it a lot. But now there's a stunned silence after the CBI arrested Dr. Ehsanul Haq, principal of Oasis School and vice principal Imtiaz Alam from Hazaribagh, in the NEET UG paper leak case. They were the masterminds, as they were the NEET city coordinators and handling distribution of NEET question papers. Wow. So there's a pattern that's kind of emerging, but what the question that is being raised now is that what is more important for the opposition? Is it the vote bank or is it cleaning up NEET? And why can there not be a consistent position taken irrespective of who the perpetrators are? Sandeep.
I suspect also what is happening, Advaita, is that it's a valid issue which is being taken up by the opposition parties, and I don't doubt that. And I think NEET is a horrific issue, which is something the government will have to do something about it. But sometimes when you oppose the government, you sometimes tend to lose sight of where you are also at fault. I mean, the example you gave is a prime example. And why was it that Gehlot government was so quiet about paper leak when it was happening in their state? They were very conveniently quiet. It took a Sachin Pale to make a rave and rant about it, and then it became an issue. Why is no one from the opposition talking about the fact that, okay, we made a mistake there? Please, the Kota ka MLA had at least 10 to 15 coaching factories in Kota itself. And they are rich. There's so much of money there. Why doesn't anyone talk about that? That is my problem. You want to criticize the government, we should all criticize the government. But my point is, let's not lose sight of the larger point that isme hum mein sab nange hain. And second thing is, maybe this is one time when we all need to come together.
No, that's true for everything. I don't want to again deflect. I think today we are politicizing everything, including if the canopy falls at the airport. The point to ask is, what was the issue of construction, design, who was responsible? But we immediately get onto this inane discussion as to who inaugurated that. Even irrespective of whether it's Praful Patel who inaugurated or Narendra Modi inaugurated, they didn't actually construct the place. We have to go back to the contractors, we have to go back to the design and everything else. Instead of that, everywhere we are getting into this mode. That is a very, very dangerous situation. I can understand political issues in Parliament, but on issues concerning people, if that's a thing, the whole core issues get totally diverted. Yes, Suhel, sorry. Go ahead.
So on the airport thing, the information I have is as follows. There was pressure on the contractors by the previous regime, whatever it was, and I'm not taking BJP side or Congress side, to get things done very, very quickly at breakneck speed. And compromises were made. A. B. Is it not the job of an existing government or the operators or whoever it is to ensure routine checks, to ensure maintenance? You cannot now, you might as well start blaming Lord Mountbatten for the issues owing to sewage. The point I'm making is and there the citizen is to blame. I think someone on your comment section said about us as citizens. We are to blame. We abuse every every public institution that is provided to us. You see the way we treat our airports, our railway stations, our railway carriages. You know, you've been on these trains, Advaita, and you've written about them saying they run very, very well. But see the way people treat public property in our country. We treat public property miserably, and sometimes we need to suffer, and we might as well bloody suffer. We have no business to treat public property, to deface it at will. All these jokers who are doing political protests, burn buses, unke baap ka bus hai.
Yeah.
So that is the problem. It is a culture issue. A. B. Everyone knows there is corruption. And the corruption is huge in areas like PWD, electricity. PWD is the worst department in this country. They should bloody be sacked or, burned at the stake if need be. I mean, you tell me, every year we know that the monsoons will hit Delhi. Every year we know it will rain. Every year we know that there will be flooding, and yet we make no arrangements. You have the cursory and the perfunctory things saying, "Ha bhai, ab ho jayega." And the same Minto Bridge floods year after year, year after year. Are we not responsible? Where is civil society? Where are these so-called bloody activists who keep saying, dharna, dharna? Where are they? So, hamam mein sab nange hain. A, B. Unless we have a culture of accountability, unless we have deterrent, demonstrable punishment to those who screw around with public property, we will never be safe. In China, if an airport collapses, 5 people who are responsible will be executed. Here, you will issue a press statement, pata nahi kab hoga. This is the point I'm making. That's the issue.
It's exceedingly tragic. I mean,
you have written about it and spoken about it. How we buggered our hill stations. We as citizens. Yeah. The amount of plastic that is used and thrown. You see those idiots who are going to Ladakh and driving their goddamn SUVs in those lakes. I mean, these are the people who should be shot dead. But nothing happens. So let's stop blaming the governments. We are equally responsible for the mess that we have created in our country.
I've always said, and this is not because I'm a hill person, I've always said that to come to these places which are ecologically fragile zones, there has to be a premium that you pay. It has
now
to
you
cost.
Tell me, these jokers, and this is where I have an issue. Each political party will blame the other. Is it Narendra Modi's job to make sure that the airport is functioning, the canopy doesn't collapse? He's the Prime Minister of the country here. But now everything has to be at his doorstep, or at Rahul Gandhi's doorstep, or at Nehru's doorstep. I mean, this is passing the buck like one has never seen before. And anyone who justifies this based on an earlier regime is actually hurting himself. Because if you've been elected and in government for 10 years, it's your bloody job to ensure maintenance.
I mean, you hold the can, right? I mean, that's the basic thing. You hold the can. You've got to figure it out. It's on your watch. Whether it's your job or not, it's certainly your watch.
And can I tell you that Rakesh Kumar, the taxi driver, the gentleman who died, what have you done? A token amount of 10 lakhs? Have you calculated his earning capacity? He was 28 or 29. He would have worked till 70. Have you calculated that? Have you calculated the trauma? Have you calculated everything else? You give 10 lakhs, which comes out in some bloody form of tokenism, and you think you've done your job? It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So my point is that unless, and here we are also to blame in the, you especially, or, Pallavi, in the media. The media does it all the time. Haan bhai, every June, July, ye programs honge monsoons pe. But do you follow up? No. Because you're then chasing the next problem. So my point is as follows. A, you want draconian laws? I'm all for draconian laws. Make draconian laws for those people who play with human life. Make draconian laws for those people who bugger up public institutions. Make draconian laws and make it punishable for those people who destroy public property. Make it draconian for people who create or construct things of inferior quality. That you make draconian. Because that does two things. It damages our image and it destroys lives. And both of which India cannot afford. We're in a good place, touch wood.
The only time, Suhel, I don't know if you agree with me, that one has actually seen this whole combination of politician plus media plus commentators like you and me, etc., be able to do something was, I remember this clearly, was remember that crazy traffic jam on Gurgaon, that highway, which went on for hours and hours and hours, and it was the monsoons, it was the rains, and we raised hell. And then since that time and now, it's never happened again. Qatar was, of course, CM at this time, but it's been about 6 years, but it's never ever happened again.
See, the funny thing also is, Advaita, this has got highlighted so much because this time Lutyens is flooded. And also, you have Manish Tiwari walking out in his shorts, and Sashi Tharoor tweeting that how his furniture is floating. And Delhi airport. If this had happened just in Jabalpur and Rajkot, as they are talking of, it would have.
And if it had happened in Gurgaon, no one would have bothered. Gurgaon is orphaned. Can I tell you, these jokers in Gurgaon are opening more liquor vents than they're opening schools. The bars were open during COVID, schools were shut. ये तो tragedy हमारे देश की.
See, Gurgaon, I can only blame the two of you, two celebrities living, and if you people can't raise it.
Hey, I'm not a celebrity. Advaita Kala lives between Gurgaon and Dehradun because she's made a lot of money. On that note, I wish all the viewers, God bless, stay safe, don't get wet, and if you do, dry up quickly. God bless you. Thank you.
Where are you
I have other stuff to do.
Oh,
Thank you.
we probably got a dinner or a party or something.
No, I've got someone's birthday. It's someone's 80th birthday. You must always respect the elders, unlike you guys. Thank you. God
We
bless.
do respect you, Suhel. Don't say that. We do respect you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ab chal. Hua to hua.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we've not discussed that. He's back, Uncle Sam.
He's a damn nice guy. Don't harm him.
I didn't think he should have gone for this last.
Thank you.
I don't think he should have gone for the last.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Sandeep, go ahead. You were making a point.
No, I was making a point on that this is, we're getting into some very ridiculous level, and I think there it has to stop. I can understand on other political issues, if people are making the issue about this new penal code, etc., is fine. But when it comes to issues concerning human beings and these public things, I think there they have to draw a line, and that the public has to rise rather than jumping into the, even in social media, if you see most of the social media people are jumping into the same story as to who inaugurated it and who didn't inaugurate it. They are the people who should be asking. Only one person I know who, Shailaja Chandra, former Chief Secretary of Delhi, she tweeted, she said, okay, fine, enough of blame game, but now get on to who is responsible, what are the safety rules you have, how you want to go forward. And the NEET thing which we are discussing, Advaita, I think it's a much bigger issue than just the exam. I think anywhere we are having, this is where people are taking our masses for a ride. Whether you say the NEET exam or all these so-called, shops of coming up, because this is just simple exploitation of people. Which is happening, and their regulations have to come in. Nobody can go on opening these shops as Pallavi was describing and letting people. It's almost like, I would say I draw a parallel between that and chit funds and Ponzi schemes. This is another form of Ponzi schemes where you're making people invest, put in their money, and knowing fully well that money is going to sink down the drain, and so many families will just be ruined. And on top of that, you add on somebody else, does double dipping into it with this NEET kind of corruption. And this is organized. This is very organized. And there, again, the question arises, what are our intelligence agencies and people doing? Are they only driven at, chasing some political issues? These are also things which our intelligence agencies and people should be throwing up in the routine course, that this kind of racket is happening across the country. And why they don't throw up? My suspicion is because politicians are involved. And I think these kind of laws which are being passed with due deference to Mr. Yogi Adityanath, these are almost like bolting the stable, worse than bolting the stable after the horses ran away. What will happen is ultimately the law has to also get implemented. But if the system is so rotten, how do you change it? It requires very, very fundamental reforms. Pallaviji?
And the political nexus angle can never be missed out. I mean, it's obviously political nexus angle. And I mean, the Jharkhand case, the Bihar case, all of that is showing. And there have been past cases also. But I think it's not a bad idea if you're coming out with this stringent law. Some way you have to make a beginning, right? I mean, damn if you do and damn if you don't. Some way you have to make the beginning. But I also
definitely have to do it. Yeah, I agree with you. But today Medicare, education, and these things are huge, sources of racket and corruption in the country, and everywhere the politicians are involved. These people, the education institutes, the hospital, they are one of the biggest funders of politicians also. So
I mean, most of the coaching institutes, I was giving an example of Kota, I was giving an example of Rajasthan, and I'm sure it happens in other states as well, are actually run by politicians, MPs, MLAs, it's run by them. It's big money. Because, health and education are two things the parents will never want to take a risk on. If a parent from a chota sa gaon wants to thinks that, mera beta IIT mein jayega and so forth, and for that I need to sell the family property, so be it. And if someone comes and tells you that, ye paper leak ho raha hai, ye jawab doge, sure shot, he's going to pass the exams, they are willing to pay that kind of money because they don't have that faith that honestly, on the basis of merit, you will get the job which you want. So it starts at every step. अरे वहां तक छोड़ो यार, nursery के admissions में भी तो पैसे लेते हैं ना many schools. I know of parents who say, once or twice these young and they're educated people who walked up to me, ma'am, we are ready to give you lakhs if you get us admission into one of those things. I said, but मैं कहाँ से कराऊं? No, if you can just put in a word with the principal, say you're a journalist, and you put in a word, and they're ready to pay money, and there are people who are making money from giving admissions and getting admissions done. It starts at the nursery school level. So you can imagine at competitive exams like NEET and UGC, NET, how much it must be happening.
This is, that's again the entire craze in our system. And in certain states, where, as you're saying, competitive people try to, I know of in certain states like Bihar, people market some kindergarten school saying, yahan se IAS banta hai. If you start studying there, you get into some better thing. And, actually,
you're right, absolutely.
I'm not joking. There are actually people who say that.
The thing is that, speaking of this competitive exams and of that nature, Om Birla, the speaker's daughter, she got through UPSC, performed decently, cleared the exam. And there was this barrage of just hate that, it's rigged. She used to model. Now she suddenly cleared the UPSC. There's just such negativity around everything, It's a curse, really, to be doing anything now and achieving anything. And on the other hand, you have this NEET fiasco, which is ongoing, which my heart goes out to those students, really, because it's such a big deal. They must have prepared so hard, and it's so anxiety-ridden, the whole process. And then for this to happen is just horrible. But Pallavi, what are we looking at this week in Parliament?
I mean, 3 days we are left, Monday to Wednesday. I'm looking forward to Tuesday and Wednesday because the PM will respond to motion of thanks. And much has been said about NEET and much attack has come in on the PM. So I'm sure he's going to use this opportunity to hit back. His first big political speech inside Parliament hoga after the Lok Sabha election. I'm sure he's going to talk about Rahul Gandhi becoming the LOP. And this whole narrative that it's Ek Tihai ki Sarkar, he's got no mandate. All of that. I mean, he's known to use these kind of a platform to hit back at the opposition. And I think for the first time ever, it's going to be a direct confrontation between the PM and Rahul Gandhi, because what happens is that the LOP has a right to intervene. So if the PM finishes his speech, the LOP can always stand up and say, I have a point of order and I want to say something. So then comes the huge pressure also on Rahul Gandhi, because we all know, as far as communication goes, the PM is far, far ahead. But now he'll also have to communicate very strongly. So how will he be able to rebut the Prime Minister post a PM speech? That will be interesting. So tomorrow is going to be motion of thanks. You're going to hear all those big, big speeches. I mean, in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, some neta, every party will talk. Some of them are very interesting speakers, so it'll be nice to listen to. Rahul Gandhi may speak in Lok Sabha. Tuesday in Lok Sabha, Wednesday in Rajya Sabha. Do watch out for the PM speech, because I'm sure he's going to make political points.
It'd be interesting to see whether
Rahul Gandhi finally, actually, I mean, so till now it was just like by perception, but now it will actually be Modi versus Rahul in. I don't know if they are going to hug each other. Remember, Rahul Gandhi wants to line up to hug by PM.
No, it'll be interesting to see PM recalibrates his style, whether he's going to keep the same style as before, or post the elections, post the change scenario in the parliament, whether because this is also his third term, he also would like to evolve, or I think he must evolve. So what is the new stand he takes at this juncture? How he communicates to the people becomes an issue. So, because there has been also an acquisition, and I think it's not totally without merit, that the government has been speaking in an echo chamber itself. What they have been communicating has not been falling into a little bit of deaf ears, because those have become blind spots, and they've been talking, but people have moved on from those issues, and other issues are hurting the common people. So they are a bit tired of that old, record of what all has been done, this kind of welfare, this kind of Lavarthi schemes, and how so many households have been given free ration or gas, etc. So that is one part of it. I think all of you are definitely justifiably excited, because a lot of shifts are happening. It may not be of interest to our viewers. If you see the Maharashtra budget, which has been passed 2 days ago, presented, it actually swings a lot towards freebies, and it's following the Madhya Pradesh model of also, Ladli scheme kind of things, which are stuff happening. BJP, interestingly, have appointed the same team which is delivered for them Madhya Pradesh and Odisha.
Okay, let me come in on the Ladli Behna scheme in Madhya Pradesh, because I know it well, and of course Shivraj ji was there, so I was tracking it, discussed it very often also. This is not something that was an electoral thing, okay, the Ladli scheme. This, if that is how it is being interpreted by the BJP and other parties or any political party, it's a mistake. This was something that Shivraj ji has been doing consistently throughout his tenure, and it was just gradually, with the changes that came in, inflation, this, that, and the other, opportunity costs, all of those things, is how the scheme evolved over time. It wasn't something he just dropped at election time. That's very important to understand about how he did it, how Shivraj Singh.
But one of the main reasons why the BJP is believed to have done well in MP is also because of Ladli Behna scheme. So I can understand why they would want to replicate that.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Ladli Behna scheme is something that has evolved over time. It's been his consistent policy with women in his state.
So,
the scholarships, the age barriers. It's been like, what I'm trying to tell you is
it cannot be a silver bullet.
Exactly.
If you think that
correct. So Maharashtra should not think that this is going to sort out its issues when it comes to the kind of alliance they have, when it comes to the negativity surrounding their governance right now, and of course all the other issues.
Maharashtra is a mess as far as the BJP and the NDA is concerned.
But also the BJP realizes that it has to win Maharashtra. So they're going to put everything that they can, which is why the same team has been replicated. Bhupendra Yadav,
There are
Ashwini.
two of his trusted people, Bhupendra Yadav and Ashwini Vaishnav, in charge of Maharashtra. They've been made the people who
I know
delivered.
they have a very similar style of working. They go region by region, they talk to people, not very flamboyant people, but chota se chota party workers, that they prepare those bullet points, then they come back and tell the center कि यहाँ यहाँ हमारी कमजोरी है, यहाँ यहाँ हमारा strong point है, and that's how they work. So they're very professional about it. So it clicked in MP, but I think in MP the problem also became is that the Congress became complacent because they thought that they had won the election. Frankly speaking, in Maharashtra also, the Congress and the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi also thinks that they are winning the election. So the same amount of complacency is also stepping in. But it's a huge state, the second after UP. So for BJP, if they want to derail this narrative that they are a weakened Sarkar, I think they have to win Maharashtra. So they're going to try their best. So let's see.
Well, the thing with the thing with Bhupendra Yadav is he's a great listener, right? And this is a state where I think a lot of listening has to be done, because things have just kind of spiraled, and there have been these alliances and people taken in and people leaving and all of those kind of things. So I think, that is the one positive in terms of who they've selected for this particular role.
He's a great listener.
So, Maharashtra is not just a big state, Pallavi. The difference.
Birthday today, by the way.
I know, many, many happy returns of the day, Bhupenji. We really, really like you, and we love the fact that you're a gentleman in politics, that you're a great reader, that you engage with, I guess, the intellectuals in a way that not too many politicians do. So we wish you a very healthy, long life, and look forward to meeting you soon. And thank you for being in politics. Go on.
So there is a lot of sub-regionalism in Maharashtra as well. Unlike UP, which is in some form, though there are regions, there are peculiarities between Purvanchal and West UP and all that, various belts. But Maharashtra is very sub-regional. Vidarbha is very different from Khandesh, Marathwada, Konkan, and each one of them are like regions, and so therefore it's a very complex state with its own power equations. So it's they have got their task cut out, the two of them, and
not to miss Sharad Pawar factor.
Everybody, each one has their own club. Sharad Pawar is very important. He is very important, powerful, and everything, and he's also very, strategically. I wouldn't use. He is very sharp person. So, and for him, protecting Maharashtra, not just for NCP but for MVA, is very, very critical. And so that's going to happen. So interesting times.
1 second, I just need to come in here. Ratan Shardaji, who has been all over the news and was with Arnab yesterday on Republic, is saying he didn't come on Sunday Club to keep away from controversies. Ratan Shardaji, frankly, we are the least controversial of all the people you've been fraternizing with in the last 10 days. Just to make that point. Okay. Welcome.
But Ratan Shardaji is right now the man in demand.
He's the, what is the term? The newsmaker of the week.
Newsmaker of the week. Everybody wants him to speak, and obviously he has got a mandate to speak. That's why he's coming on various platforms and fora to talk about it. But good. I think he is a very sane, balanced voice who doesn't sort of mince his words. He says is as it is, and that is what today is required. Though I missed his thing yesterday about what he told on Arnab's show about whether there is actually a rift between RSS and BJP. That would have been interesting to hear. Did any of you hear that, Pallavi Advaita?
I missed the first 20 minutes. Then I caught the rest of it. And I think Arnab is obviously very combative in these episodes. And I think he was trying to kind of get Ratan Shardaji to, paint him into a corner. But I think Ratan Shardaji handled it with a lot of calm, maturity. And really, and you can't fault what he's saying if you just look at it logically, right? And his point was very clear that, look, organizer asked me to write an article. I wrote that article based on my experience, my opinion, and in honesty. That was about it. And they published it. Great. That just goes to show that there is a certain openness when it comes. He's saying, nobody called me from the BJP, nobody called me from the RSS, nobody said, why have you written this? Don't write this, don't do this. On the contrary, he said some people from the BJP called him and said, we agree with the points you've raised. And this is all a part of that, reflection that the BJP is so well known for, and the consultative process that they go through after every election, win or loss. So in that sense, I think it's all right, and I think he handled it well. And in the end, Arnab did concede that this doesn't look like a breakup. If those of you who were thinking this was a breakup, because Arnab started the conversation with the whole thing that, will the RSS support another political party? Because in the 80s or something, they did. Rajiv Gandhi met with, the Sarsanchalak Deoras at that time, blah, blah, blah. But he ended saying that, I don't think there's going to be a split. So I think Ratan Chadaji did his job well yesterday. So that's my take on that. Right. And go ahead, Sandeep. You wanted to say something?
No, we are wrapping up, so we're just throwing small snippets. There is in West Bengal a thing happening between the governor and the government, and there is some threat. Pallavi would know what is this Taj Palace story. Pallavi, Kunal Ghosh has threatened to leak, and governor has said that after 4:00 I'll speak. There is this whole thread. Kunal Ghosh has said that there are these two new MLAs elected. They have to be sworn in by. There's an ultimatum given.
Which is not happening. Yeah, which is not happening. The governor is not available.
If you don't do that, then at 3:00 or 4:00, he's going to talk something about some Taj Palace incident. And the governor has said, I will speak after 4:00. You have no such. You're very clued on.
No, the Taj Palace. There was a lot of gossip, no? There was this chatter, that they were, those the charges which are there against the governor of harassment of girls and all that. Apparently, there are 2 or 3. They claim that they have video evidence to show that the governor was spotted there. I don't know.
It was regarding that. Okay, I thought it's some political.
I think so. I think it is regarding that only.
I think the most shocking
very excited by Rahul Gandhi's LOP business. Today, Prabhu Chawla has almost said that he's waiting to be the next prime minister. I'm very intrigued.
Prime minister. How is that possible? How can we be so sure?
They're saying
the India bloc banne dega tab na.
They're saying that
but now what will happen is it's going to be PM versus RG directly now, na? LOP versus PM hota hai na, because PM is also a leader of the house in Lok Sabha. So it's going to be there will be many instances where you used to see how Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, when he was not even the leader of the house, har baat mein uth jata tha. And pot shots PM used to take.
Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary was, has a different role, but he has also come out very bitter. He said he has been finished by Mamata Banerjee, his career, etc. He's given some interview. But I thought Milind Devara's
I just want to come back to Bengal very quickly. For me, the biggest thing that's come out of Bengal is really that woman being paraded around and beaten. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Pallavi, this is you've gone to Sandesh Khali.
There's no word which has come from the state government yet, so I'm just going to hold my horses there. But the video is horrible.
Yeah.
It's and of course, predictably, if this had happened with someone else, then by now everyone would have been tweeting and gone crazy. But this is my problem with them. At the risk of being called Godi, this is my problem. That selective outrage is a problem. If something is wrong, then it's wrong, na? So then why do you accuse us of keeping quiet on one thing? They accuse us that we are quiet on A, and while we speak out on B, you do the same. And I quite agree with Sandeep when you gave that rejoinder about this justification which is coming in for RG's not so good behavior with the media. That is no justification. Just because the anchor may have been unfair to you, why do you target a beat reporter?
Yeah, but I'm surprised. Why did she have to get onto this apology mode, or must have been some pressure over there?
No, I'm missing this. What is this? Just give context, please.
It's the beat. It's her beat.
Who are you talking about, guys?
Mausami Singh, na? She's what's her? I don't know. She, who Rahul had heckled, saying that you're a BJP thing.
Why is she apologizing?
She has not apologized. I think she has tried to give an explanation. Oh, I can understand that why his angst is because he thought mainstream media let him down all these years. So therefore, he has this whole bitterness about MSM, etc. Something to that effect. She has said in one of the, I think, interviews or somewhere. I think with Lalan Top or somewhere she said. And to which I said, by that token, Modi should be far more bitter because Modi has been vilified by media, MSM from 2002. And for a change, Pallavi Ghosh endorsed my view, said, I totally agree with you. And
I agree with you very often, Sandeep.
That's a lot of people are finding that a little, suspicious as to what. Anyway, I was saying then that before we wrap up, Milind Devra's speech was very, very subtle and lovely speech,
Oh, I didn't hear it.
You heard it? No.
I didn't hear.
Oh, he talked about how during the time Mr. Modi has been Prime Minister in 10 years, he narrated how many leaders have changed in different countries. In Pakistan, how many Prime Ministers, blah, blah, blah. And he said during this entire period, there was no LOP. And so that is, in India, that was the situation that after Sushma Swaraj.
Milind is a good speaker. He talks well. He's very
he
calm.
said it in a very, very understated tone. I think he kind of got even on whatever
we need
he
to
had.
get him on the show, Pallavi. We need to, he's a friend of Abhijit's also, right? AIM's?
Yeah.
We should get him on the show.
To use this platform, appeal to him if he's listening or his friends are listening. Please come.
Do you think he watches the Sunday Club? I don't know. If he does, if you do, Milind, please do come on the show. We'd love to chat with you. And what?
You should take clips of these bits and send it to the concerned people, to Milind, to Bhupendraji.
I'll send it to Pallavi. Pallavi knows everybody. Pallavi, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, Pallavi can forward it to them.
Because it'll be nice. We haven't had a politician for a while, right?
The last one we had was done well for himself. I'm talking about Anil Anthony, and he's.
I know. He's done really well for himself.
Good,
So
good.
yeah, Milind, we're lucky for politicians. Okay, so please come.
Yeah, we must tell Milind that.
So on that happy note, Sunday. And let's hope for an exciting week ahead. And Advaita, if we do have, as Pallavi predicts, exciting speeches in Parliament, I think we should have some midweek shows.
I seriously want to do one on the law.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow get some lawyer.
I messaged Percy, and Percy's like, "Are you all coming over?"
Oh God. We've ditched him twice.
No, we should get some of the younger lawyers, who will be, I think, more articulate rather than getting the Persian is fine, but I'm seeing some the younger people who can talk and give us a more, I think.
Why are you saying invite Justice Kaju? Might not be a bad idea.
That's nay. Why not your friend Jay? Anand?
Whose friend is he?
Yours, Abhijit's, everybody's friend now.
I've never met him.
No, Abhijit is a good friend, and Pallavi also knows him. No, I'm saying of that younger profile, up and coming people who are articulate and who are, also a little outspoken. We should get some of those people to talk here. Ishkaran.
We could get Percy, we could get Jay, and we could get Justice Kaju also.
Don't, please. Don't ask for it.
Justice, the Supreme Court Justice.
No. I think Kaju is not a great idea. Okay. And anyway, so we should do that. But also, as we are saying, the Prime Minister's speech, if he speaks, and also if Rahul Gandhi interjects.
I'm sure he's going to speak on NEET. I'm pretty sure he's going to speak on NEET. He's going to come up with some very, very strong words. This is his platform to reach out to the students. There's already a anti-paper leak law which the government has notified. But I think he's going to offer more. I expect him to speak about NEET. I expect him to speak about Lok Sabha elections, about LOP, about Hangama, about the economy.
Good. Pallavi, today for a change, you're looking relaxed. You deserve a relaxed Sunday weekend because it's been very stressful for you. But today, you're visibly looking relaxed. Have a nice evening.
sweet of
And
you. You know, I
Advaita, you said it was not a good weekend. You too. Take care, rest.
Yeah,
Or
I
maybe-
really
that's
need
our
to
father figure
sleep.
talking.
I really need to sleep, though. I really need to sleep.
You need to sleep. Yeah, you better go off to sleep.
I need to sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
All the best. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks
Thank
to
you
the
for watching.
viewers,
We're going to
everybody.
come back this week for sure because there's so much happening. We will be back this week. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Do like, share, subscribe. I always forget to say that, but please do that. And we will see you soon. Bye for now.